Hey guys, Joman here. Show and tell today with a new modification for the Enlan EL-04. Well, maybe we'll have to start calling it the B EL-04 soon because that's the logo they're putting on the new blades. Come on, exposure, work with me here. Yeah, see? B. Little Pac-Man-ese. Anyway. This one here has had a fairly subtle but I think rather nice modification done to it. And to show you the difference, here's my personal one with an acid etching on it, but the shape of the handle and blade is exactly the same. Actually, let's flip them over like that. See? The stock knife has almost a place you can put your finger there. Well, not almost, you can, but it's not really perfect. There's this discontinuity between the end of the handle and the start of the blade, which makes it a very small place to rest your finger if you feel inclined to do that. So this one here has had, oh, I need a pointer. Let's use this. Has had a tiny bit taken off the cutting edge, maybe about 1/8 of an inch, and has had the handle recontoured and everything matched up to fit. It's much more subtle looking than, for example, the Choil I sometimes put on the EL-01, but it's actually trickier to do because instead of just taking a bite out of the blade and smoothing it out and you're done, you're taking a little bite out of the blade and a little bite out of that side of the handle and then that side of the handle and matching them all up and then rebeveling the G10 right there. So I think it's actually pretty cool. Now when you do this sort of thing, one thing you have to look out for is the overall profile of the knife when closed. You have that critical area there, where there's the spine of the blade, and it's sort of matched up to make a continuous line, so it's smooth across where it joins the handle. You know, so there's not like a major discontinuity, like for example on this Benchmade here, which isn't a big problem, but it is just a slightly more refined look that you'll see on some knives. And despite the recontouring I had to do there, the match between the tang and that tip on the handle is basically unchanged. So, pretty happy with that. So you can choke up on the knife a little bit more, and it just looks a little more fluid. Now the other thing this blade has had done to it is it's been polished. Let's get out the, there's a stock blade finish. It's the satin it comes with. Now if my camera's exposure will calm down, maybe we can get a look at that. There, see? Example, here's a business card. Strop man. Yeah, I got a strop man strop. Video about that later probably. See? You can kind of see a reflection in it, but it's not really clear. Maybe if you get super close you can kind of make out some letters, but not really. It doesn't really reflect anything. This one though, look at that. Now it's not an absolutely perfect mirror finish, and I'll explain why. The way I do this, I may have explained this before, the way I do this is I basically take the blade and I dump it in a polishing tumbler and leave it there for a few days. So what you have is, if there's grind marks on the blade from the factory, those won't necessarily go away. In fact, they can kind of pop up and be visible if I get the angle just right here. You can see the lines going down that way from where they ground the bevel. There's the camera. So there's that. So it's not a perfect mirror finish, but it's a lot shinier than stock, and it's pretty close to mirror. I don't really have the the time or inclination to take most of these blades and like start from a real rough grit sandpaper and work all the way up. That doing that by hand is a lot of work. There's not really any fast way to do it I know of that doesn't there just isn't really any fast way to do it. But this gets you pretty close to mirror with a fairly small amount of work, and I don't have to charge a ton for it. So there you go. That's a polished EL-04 G10 with an added finger choil. Hope you guys... Oh, wait, let's get one last shot of the stock shape. See how that works there? Finger kind of fits. This is nicer. Alright guys, take it easy and remember where your knife is.